Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we get set to begin our next round, our second round actually, of the playoffs, the chase for the Pizza Hut X Series Championship. Getting ready to continue on our race weekend from the Riki Raceway. 25 laps of racing here this evening. And just like it's been all playoffs long, all postseason long, if one of our remaining 8 playoff contenders go to victory lane here tonight, they automatically punch themselves a ticket into the championship 4 at our season finale. Last week, though, or actually 2 weeks ago, I should say, we were at Oswego, in which we saw the playoff grid go from 12 down to 8. And so, therefore, we know now that Angel Navarro, D Shears, J Jefferson, and PJ Williams will no longer be competing for the championship. That leaves us with 8. A Baranauskas, Austin LaPlante, Chelsea Bowles, defending champion J Gilbert, along with RJ Reynolds, Chloe Ericsson, Ashlyn Boyd, and Jordan Anderson still left to battle for the title. And, of course, at Oswego, too, it was kind of controversial, kind of weird, because we had a 3-way tie for the 8th position in the point standings between Jordan Anderson, Angel Navarro, and D Shears, but due to the fact that Navarro and Shears had only been to victory lane once, and Anderson had been to victory lane twice, Anderson won the tiebreaker. And so, based on a technicality, basically, D Shears and Angel Navarro are heading in here tonight without the playoff contigs, the red splitter, the red spoiler on their race cars, not any longer in the hunt for this championship. Highest starting playoff driver tonight looks like it's going to be Chloe Ericsson. And one thing that's going to be interesting tonight, if you didn't tune into our Truck Series race here last night, we ran the same scheduled distance, and the drivers had to make pit stops with about roughly 6 to 8 laps remaining in the event. Will we see them have to pit here tonight? Something tells me probably not. I think tonight's going to be a give it what you got because, track position is going to be key, and you're going to want to get up there and get those stage points. I don't think pit road and pit stops are going to play a factor unless we end up seeing our first caution of the weekend. Aiden Shepard lines up on the pole position for this one, though. Still looking for his first win of the season. Ericsson trying to pick up her 3rd win of the year, and, of course, an automatic ticket into the round of 4. PJ Williams now no longer with the playoff contigs on his Chevrolet, looking for his 2nd win of the season. Alongside of him, Paul Minnick in the 6 car, also looking, Glenn Dewitt, I should say.
Drivers, start your engines!
As command is given, looking for his 2nd win of the year. M Crenshaw going to complete the top 5. Crenshaw, of course, winning the season opening race at Daytona, so trying to get her 2nd Super Speedway win of the season. And alongside of her, Kyle Keith, who also won at the 2nd Daytona race this year. Also going to try and get his 2nd Super Speedway win of the season. 25 laps of racing here tonight, so our stage is going to be the same as they were in the Truck Series race. 8, 8, and 9. We saw stage points being really a key factor in last night's Truck Series race as well. Marcus Achi was the only driver who finished in all 4 of the stages in the top 10. The only other driver was in stage 2, Carter Friesen. All the other playoff drivers finished outside of the top 10 in each one of the stage completions. So stage points really could be a key factor here tonight. And as I can see right now, really there's no playoff contenders up there close to the front with the exception of the 46 on the outside of the front row. So be interesting to see how those other playoff contenders, how aggressive they're going to be to try and get to the front in this one. Speaking of those playoff contenders, let's give you the point standings coming into this race. It's going to be the quickest points rundown I've ever given. Everybody that's still left in the playoffs here, all the top 8, come into this race in a dead even tie for the points lead. None of the playoff drivers end up getting any stage wins, no playoff points to carry over into this round. So, A Baranauskas, Austin LaPlante, Chelsea Bowles, J Gilbert, RJ Reynolds, Chloe Ericsson, Ashlyn Boyd, and Jordan Anderson have us in an 8-way tie for the points lead to start off this 2nd round of the playoffs. This is actually the first of 2 super speedways that these drivers will be at back-to-back, as in 2 weeks we'll be going to, I believe, Talladega Super Speedway, and then finishing off this round of 8 at Homestead Miami Speedway. So if you don't get it done at one super speedway, you got another super speedway just on the horizon. But it's time to go super speedway racing tonight at Riki Raceway. Green flag is out. Let's roll. Aiden Shepard very quickly out in front. He will take the top position. Chloe Ericsson up there trying to get something going, but Glenn Dewitt's going to stick her up way up top side as he tries going up the middle 3 wide. Now that actually turns into an inside line as he's going to head that inside line and move to 3rd place. So all of these non-playoff drivers, no love lost for the playoff contender Chloe Ericsson, who now finds her way down to the bottom and will slot in 4th. Glenn Dewitt makes the move there on PJ Williams for 2nd place, so now Roush Fenway Racing will be 1-2 going down to turn 1. Instead, though, nose to tail, they're going to be side by side. Glenn Dewitt will take the top position. Is it just me, or do these cars look like they're visibly going faster than the trucks did last night? I don't know, almost looks like they're flying down this racetrack. Just how fast they going? 208 miles an hour. I've raced this track online before. I don't remember exactly how high the speeds got, but I remember they were about roughly 210 miles an hour. This track is really fun to drive, and right now these drivers having fun out in front. Dewitt in the lead, Shepard there in 2nd trying to play defense, PJ Williams there in 3rd place. And the battle is on for 4th between Scott Roush and Madeline Crenshaw. You got Noah Cars going to rock Kyle Langeland in this group. Trying to see if we got any of our playoff contenders fighting towards the front. Closest one I can see is the 55, the defending Pizza X Series champion Elijah Gilbert. There he is. Actually just now bypassing Chloe Ericsson for positions. That would put him actually right now as the highest running playoff contender in the field right now. They are 3 wide further back there. Playoff contender Austin LaPlante is back in the series, along with James Qualls, Benny Watson, a former champion of the series. Matter of fact, LaPlante and RJ Reynolds kind of working together here, a couple of Ford Mustangs to try and get through the mayhem. Good way back to the tail end of the field. There's our defending winner coming into this race, Chris Dahl, our last time out in the elimination race of Oswego, dominating that race. And while we got some drivers working their way to the front, there are a couple of drivers that are kind of straggling back here for playoff contenders. One of them, namely Chelsea Bowles, rather, in the 31. There she is. Former winner this season at a super speedway, FTM super speedway, so you would think she'd be up towards the front more than she is, but didn't have really that great of qualifying position, so we'll see if she starts working her way to the front as this race progresses. Meanwhile, as we jump back to the front, Glenn Dewitt still showing the way. Glenn coming into this race 30th in the point standings. 1 win, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, average finish of about 22nd. That 1 win coming at the Bristol Dirt Duel. I believe it was the 2nd duel. As Kyle Langeland now will try and take 2nd place from PJ Williams. So now the question is, can these drivers stop battling for 2nd, line up, and reel in the 6 car? Langeland jumps back down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll pick up Noah Cars in the 42. Noah Cars, the highest running of the non-playoff drivers coming into this race in the point standings. Had a very consistent year. Of course, we can continue to harp on that issue back at Watkins Glen, where most likely he would have been the winner of the race, but that's ancient history. Noah Cars, though, still trying to climb victory lane for the first time this season. A lot of people don't remember this, but Noah Cars was actually in the playoffs battling for the championship back in season 1 of the Hershey's Cup Series. Kyle Keith with a big move there. That was for around the 7th position. Diving low as PJ Williams finds himself up at the top side with absolutely no friends. Now tucks in line in what would be, I believe, 8th place, just ahead of N Pontzer. Shepard trying to get back up there, play some defense for his Roush Fenway Racing teammate, but can't make the move without any help. Right now, the top 4, top 5, top 6, all you can put a blanket over them. Now Jacob Rose will make a move there, and it looks like they're ganging up on the Roush Fenway cars. Aiden Shepard's trying to get up there to be able to draft with his teammate. Nobody wants to allow him to do that. Now Noah Carr's going to get picked up high. Jacob Rose and Kyle Keith working together right now. They put together a pretty good alliance, a Toyota and a Chevy. They fought their way up to 3rd and 4th, and now they're looking for more. Rose to the inside of Langeland for 2nd. No help down there, though. Is he going to get any help as he goes down here into turn 3? No, he's not, but he's going to try and do it by himself, and it's going to work. Not only did he make the pass on Langeland, he also picked up the slipstream of the 6. He's going to use that momentum as he might take a peek here down to turn number 1 for the race lead. And that's exactly where he's going to go. Jacob Rose, a former winner this season, but he wasn't high enough in the point standings to get into the playoffs. His teammate Ashton Boyd in 20, however, did. And Kyle Keith now moves into second place. And now we're going to start to see this lead probably get swapped around quite a bit. Glenn Dewitt enjoying his time out in front. And Glenn Dewitt actually winning that stage there as well, as you can see. But as you can also see there, none of your playoff contenders got any stage points here for the completion of this first stage. None of them. Highest running playoff driver right now, looks like it's the 11 of Jordan Anderson. He's at this current point in time being scored in the 16th position. Elijah Gilbert's back in 19th. RJ Reynolds in 21st. And you got to go a long ways down. Man, A Baranauskas back in 33rd. Chelsea Bowles back in 34th. LaPlante is back in 38th. And we saw K Ericsson get the highest starting spot. She's now back in 39th with Ashley Boyd back in 36th place. So, that is not looking good for playoff contenders right now. Glenn Dewitt back to the race lead. For a moment there, it looked like the Rush Fenway cars have been able to hook back up, but now Kyle Keith has broken them up again. Shepard going to look to the inside for second place. It's a 5-car breakaway at the front of the field. Dewitt, Shepard, Rose, Noah Cars, and Kyle Keith. In this group, these drivers have been to victory lane. 2 of them still looking for their first win of the season. As a matter of fact, both of them, I believe, they're looking for their first win of their Pizza Hut X Series career. Aiden Shepard, that's a definite. He's a rookie coming into this race. And Noah Cars, I believe this is his first full-time season. Yes, it is, in the Pizza Hut X Series. Now, another thing we got going on, too, that we really don't talk a whole lot about, but we kind of should as we start getting closer and closer to the end of this season, is the Rookie of the Year battle. It was actually really close coming into this race, too. Noah Cars comes into this race as the rookie points leader by only 1 point over Chelsea Bowles and only 3 points over RJ Reynolds. Right now, it appears that the 34 and the 31 are both struggling. The 42 having a good run here today. But that points battle has been pretty good during the course of this entire season. This is one thing about Riki Raceway that a lot of people don't realize, is when the field starts getting spread out, it can kind of take on a speedway type, I don't know, aspect to it. This is considered a super speedway. You've seen here tonight already how the draft plays a huge factor, the slipstream, the suck-up. But when the field starts getting spread out, it can take a while for a big group of race cars to reel in a small group of race cars. I mean, you can see right here how Cars, Keith, Shepard, Rose, they continue to battle with each other. They're a group of 4. By normal super speedway physics, they should, even with battling, be able to reel in a driver that's running all by himself, like the 6 of Glenn Dewitt. You can see that gap has not decreased. So that shows you right there the speedway side of this. I mean, it's not called Riki Super Speedway, actually. It's called Riki Raceway, which means it kind of borderlines both aspects of racetracks, a speedway and a super speedway. I'm going to be very curious, though. I mean, like I said, usually, and this is through experience, GNS physics don't use up nearly as much fuel consumption as CTS physics. That's pretty common knowledge. And we saw that the drivers in the Truck Series race here last night were not able to make it the full distance 25 laps without coming to pit road between 6 to 8 laps remaining in the event. Now, my question would be, is the GNS physics able to save that 6 to 8 laps that the trucks were not able to have? Or will we see these drivers here in this one not be able to make it the entire way as well? One other thing that we should also point out as well is usually fuel consumption is lessened when drivers are in a draft. Right now, the field's kind of spread out, and so there's a lot more fuel being used up by a lot of these drivers that are leading these packs than there would be if everyone was running in one tight draft. So that is another factor in possible more fuel consumption than what we would have seen in last night's Truck Series race. Which begs the question, can these drivers make it the entire way on fuel? Now, to my knowledge, it seemed like if the trucks were about 6 laps short, Pizza X Series drivers would have absolutely no trouble. They're going to just battle it all the way to the checkered flag without having hit pit road. But now, the way that this race is taken on a new kind of retrospect, now I'm starting to question whether or not it really is going to be a fuel strategy race or not in this Pizza Hut X Series event. You know, one name that I'm looking at here up inside the top 10, that's PJ Williams. We saw him get eliminated at Oswego. Well, right now, he would have been the only playoff driver this entire race that would have gotten some stage points, I think. J Jefferson's up in 6th as well, so he might have also. But right now, if you're looking there at the 96 of Z Flickinger, he is the last driver inside of the top 10. Then you got to go all the way back here before you find that 11 car who's running, I think, in 15th place right now, Jordan Anderson. Jump back even further, that's where you'll find A Baranauskas in this group of race cars. A little ways back in this pack is Elijah Gilbert and RJ Reynolds. Chelsea Bowles trying to catch up as well. Remember, we have 4 drivers that get eliminated when we get to the elimination race in a few weeks at Homestead Miami Speedway. There's Ashlyn Boyd, Chloe Ericsson, Austin LaPlante in this group trying to produce some speed. And right now, I believe it would be Bowles, Boyd, LaPlante, and Ericsson who would be in the danger zone of 9th through 12th, or rather 5th through 8th, I should say, in the point standings when we're headed to Talladega in a couple of weeks. That would indeed be the case. As a matter of fact, it would be a bit of a battle right there that we might have to follow between Gilbert, Reynolds, and Bowles, because that could be a battle right there potentially for the 8th position, or the 4th position in the point standings. My apologies. Forgetting that these drivers started out with 12 playoff contenders. They started out with 16. Laps are ticking away very quickly here, and this battle for second has really been heated between these 4, Keith, Cars, Shepard, and Rose. While it's putting on a great show for the fans, it's not really helping these drivers in any way to be able to get up there and get either their first or second wins of the season. So far this year, Roush Fenway Racing has 2 wins, I believe. No, 3 wins. 2 from Austin LaPlante, 1 from Glenn Dewitt. They got a shot here to pick up a 4th win, whether it be the 2nd win of the season for Dewitt or 1st win of the season for Aiden Shepard, who now will make the move to the inside of Noah Cars. That's for 3rd place. I mean, it almost looks like this group behind Glenn Dewitt should be catching him, should get up to him, and should be able to pass him, but every time they get just enough momentum to get a run, someone steps out of line. 4 laps to go here. Let's see if they stay lined up here into turn 1, and they were going to, but Shepard stepped out. Noah Cars looked like he was willing to stay behind the 29, and Shepard had other ideas. Jacob Rose just kind of riding here at the tail end of this group. I think he might not have much choice. He doesn't have anybody behind him, so the only thing he can do is maybe get some suck up and do a slingshot move and hope somebody else is on the same line as him. Oh my goodness, they're gonna pit. I almost was, the reason I was quiet was I was observing the fact that Rose took a slightly higher line there through 3 and 4, and I wondered, does that mean that drivers just indicated they were coming to pit lane? That's indeed the case. Shepard and Noah Cars are on pit road. Ericsson, LaPlante, and Boyd were on pit lane. So was 2-time winner Patrick Curtis. And this race is coming down to the wire on fuel strategy. Now, here's the big question. If you're a playoff contender that hasn't hit pit road yet, like maybe Chelsea Bowles or Elijah Gilbert, would you risk it and stay out? I think that someone just ran out of fuel. That is Christian Merrick Jr., who has just run out of fuel. He couldn't make it back to pit road. And here comes Glenn Dewitt to the pit lane, along with Kyle Keith and Jacob Rose. And they will be hitting the line with 2 laps to go. Does anyone try risking it? I believe Ryan George is the next car that would either have to stay out or hit pit lane here. And is he going to come to pit road? Yes, he is. Jordan Anderson, A Baranauskas, they're going to come to pit road. Looks like RJ Reynolds going to roll the dice and stay out an extra lap. Now Reynolds is going to see, I believe, 2 to go here. Can he make it 2 laps on fuel? Also, well, I think drivers behind him there have already been to pit road. The 20 of Ashlyn Boyd and the 16 of Austin LaPlante. Phil Parker in the 5 has not, though, and he's here with this group. Look at him right there, running behind LaPlante and Boyd, trying to get some drafting help here to save some fuel. And this could be an issue for R.J. Reynolds trying to get to pit road. If he cannot get by the 7 of Dougie Shears, he's going to get trapped up on the high side. So whether he wanted to risk it or not, he's got no choice. He's going to see the white flag. Phil Parker's coming to pit road. Will Reynolds be able to make it around one more time, or will he run out of fuel in the attempt? Remember, this is an opportunity for Reynolds to battle in the final 4 at the season finale if he wins here tonight. But he might run out of fuel in the attempt. He's got 8 seconds in hand. Back to Glenn Dewitt in the 6. He's got Dougie Shears right there with him, so he's trying to have Dougie Shears cut the draft for him so that way he can make it. I think he's running out. Reynolds, I think, is running out. He is slowing. Is he going to try and stay out there? No, he's coming to pit road. Why would you do that? Try coasting to the finish line. Now, the question is Reynolds stall before or after the start-finish line? I don't think he's going to get there in time. It's before the start-finish line. Glenn Dewitt's going to close the deal. His 2nd win of the season will come here tonight at Riki Raceway. Reynolds tried it. I don't know why he didn't try running out of fuel coming to the line. Why didn't he try coasting it? But I guess he thought it was safer to come to pit road and not possibly get run over. And Glenn Dewitt just barely held off Jacob Rose in what would have been a battle for 2nd, then turned into a battle for the win. And Glenn Dewitt, who had the strongest car of the evening, is going to pick up his 2nd win of the season here tonight at Riki Raceway. And what a crazy last few laps that was. Well, the strategy didn't get him the win, but Reynolds did manage to cross the line in the 6th position. So kudos to him at least for getting track position there in the closing stages. That'll put him in a slightly better position heading into Talladega than he would have been where he was running when the pit stops began. So close to punching his ticket, though, into the final 4. And Glenn Dewitt becomes the 3rd non-playoff driver to go to victory lane here during the playoffs. The other 2, obviously, were Chris Dollerton last time out and Patrick Curtis winning the first 2 races of the playoffs. So far, none of our playoff contenders have won here this season, and as a result, punched their ticket into the next round of the playoffs. Dewitt will win. Jacob Rose brings it home 2nd. Kyle, Keith, Aiden, Shepard, Noah cars were your top 5. They were undoubtedly the 5 strongest cars of the evening. Ran in that group all night long, up in the top 5 for pretty much this whole race. That strategy by R.J. Reynolds, though, has him finishing the highest of the playoff drivers in 6th. So, very gutsy strategy that works out in some ways to his benefit. Z Flickinger will finish the night out in 7th. Michael Haas is going to be 8th. P.J. Williams 9th. And Kyle Langeland completes the top 10. Where'd the rest of our playoff contenders finish? Jordan Anderson, who spent most of that second half of the race as the highest running playoff driver, will end up being 2nd highest finisher of the playoff contenders in 13th place. Then you got to go a long ways down before you find A Baranauskas there in 22nd. Elijah Gilbert in 24th. Chelsea Bowles was 28th. Austin LaPlante was in 31st. Ashlyn Boyd 34th. Chloe Ericsson actually finished off the lead lap in the 39th position. Benny Watson was also a lap down. Christian Merrick Jr. ran out of fuel, as we saw in the back straightaway. Couldn't make it back to pit road. He had to retire from the race in 41st. And J Jefferson actually came to pit road for a mechanical issue. Finished out of the race in 42nd due to a gearbox. So coming into this race right now, I think that the 4 that would be currently in the top 4 positions would be obviously R.J. Reynolds, Jordan Anderson, A Baranauskas, and Elijah Gilbert. The drivers that would head into Talladega in 2 weeks in the danger zone would be Chelsea Bowles, Austin LaPlante, Ashlyn Boyd, and Chloe Ericsson. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, though. But what an interesting finish here tonight at Riki Raceway. We've had 2 races that have come down to fuel strategy. And we're going to have to see what happens in tomorrow night's race for the Hershey's Cup Series, because guess what? It's an elimination race for those guys. So anyway, thank you all for watching tonight's race. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. Glenn Dewitt is now a 2-time winner in the Pizza Hut X Series. We've shown you full feature results. These are your rookie points and your overall points heading into our next race. It'll be the second race of the second round of the playoffs with Pizza Hut X Series drivers in 2 weeks at another super speedway, Talladega. So hope you'll tune in for that. Until then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the SARA Offline Racing at its best.